An aircraft carrier flight deck looks like a giant floating runway, but that's an illusion. It's actually a war factory floor, except the machines are armed fighter jets, and every mistake has the potential to be fatal. The deck is constantly moving, not just from aircraft, but from the ocean itself. The ship rolls, pitches, and vibrates beneath your feet, and yet aircraft weighing more than 20 tons are launching and landing as if everything were perfectly stable. It never is. The people who work here don't just deal with danger, they live inside it. The first thing that overwhelms you is sound. Jet engines don't just make noise, they create physical pressure waves. Even with double hearing protection, the roar travels through your body, through your ribs and spine. Over time, the deck crew doesn't hear the sound as much as they feel it. Communication isn't done by voice, it's done by hand signals, eye contact, and instinct. A single misunderstood gesture could send a jet rolling forward when someone is still in front of it. Then, there is jet blast. When a fighter powers up, the exhaust behind it becomes a hurricane of heat and force. It can knock a person off their feet or send loose gears skidding across the deck like bullets. The temperature can melt equipment and burn skin instantly. Crew members memorize safe zones the way soldiers memorize cover in combat. Step outside those invisible lines, and physics takes over. The intakes are just as deadly. A jet preparing to taxi turns its engine into a giant vacuum cleaner. The suction is powerful enough to pull in tools, hats, rags, even a human being. That's why nothing is left unsecured. Every strap, every chain, every piece of equipment is tied down, and every crew member is constantly scanning the deck. Situational awareness here isn't a military slogan. It's survival. And all of this happens while explosives and fuel are everywhere. Aircraft on the deck may be loaded with missiles, bombs, rockets, and thousands of pounds of jet fuel. You are working inches away from high explosives while engines run and metal grinds against metal. Fire is the nightmare scenario. On land, fire departments respond in minutes. At sea, you are the fire department. Every deck sailor trains for damage control, fighting flames, sealing compartments, dragging injured people to safety, because if something ignites here, there is nowhere to run. The rhythm of the deck is relentless. A jet lands, slams onto the deck, catches a steel arresting cable, and goes from high speed to a dead stop in seconds. The cable snaps forward with violent force, then crews rush in, chains go on, wings fold, the aircraft is moved aside, refueled, rearmed, inspected, and prepared to launch again. The entire process can take less time than a commercial airliner spends taxiing. This isn't occasional intensity. This is the normal pace. Every colored shirt on the deck means a life-critical role. Yellow shirts direct aircraft movement, essentially controlling multi-million-dollar machines with hand gestures. Purple shirts handle fuel, working in an environment where a single spark could be catastrophic. Red shirts deal with weapons, meaning they work surrounded by live ordnance. Green shirts maintain aircraft and catapult systems. Blue shirts move equipment and secure the deck. White shirts oversee safety and medical response. Each group depends on the others with absolute trust, because hesitation or confusion at this speed can turn deadly. Landings are especially brutal. Carrier pilots don't gently touch down. They crash on purpose. The aircraft hits the deck hard, aiming to snag one of a few steel cables. If the hook misses, the pilot must instantly go full power and take off again, because there is no runway ahead, only ocean. For the deck crew, every landing is a moment of tension. A misaligned jet, a broken cable, or mechanical failure can create chaos in seconds. And yet, this chaos is controlled. Not because it's safe, but because the people here have trained until reaction becomes instinct. They operate in a world measured in seconds, where focus can't drift and fatigue can't show. Long hours, night operations, bad weather, none of it stops the cycle. The carrier's power depends on keeping aircraft in the sky, and the sky depends on the people on that deck. To an outsider, it looks like noise and motion. To those who work there, it's a constant calculation of risk. They don't think about fear every second. They think about procedures, signals, spacing, timing. Fear is pushed aside because there's no time for it. The mission, the team, and the rhythm take over. That's the secret of the flight deck. It's not just machines and fire. It's human beings standing in the middle of controlled violence, turning chaos into combat power. Every launch you see on video, every jet that roars into the sky, is the result of dozens of people working inches from lethal danger, trusting each other completely. The aircraft carrier may be a symbol of national power, but the flight deck is where that power is physically forged, second by second, under the most unforgiving conditions at sea.
Based on above, you'll see if your path is open.